The following is a presentation of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, Sleeman Breweries proudly presents the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Once again, everybody, Andrew Rogers here, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. This is episode number 5. It's great to have you guys back with us, and thank you once again for tuning in and watching and supporting the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Like I said, great to have you guys along. Big episode coming up here. We recap the weekend that was, as always. We'll get you caught up on league standings, league scores, and get you all ready and pumped up for this upcoming weekend. Another big weekend on tap for the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. It's an absolutely jam-packed episode. We also got a couple of real studs in terms of the guests this week. There are 2 of them. First, you got the captain from the Elora Rock, Spencer Gourlay, and the one of the goaltenders, the tandem duo over there. We have one of them, and he just registered a big shutout over this past weekend, and that's Matt Sagrott of the Tillsonburg Thunder. So those interviews will be coming up here shortly. What we want to do, guys, this is a jam-packed episode. We want to jump right into it, okay? First thing we're going to do is recap the weekend that was, and then on the other side of that, I'll give you guys a rundown of the standings, where we stand currently with the leading point getters in the WOSHL. We'll also give you an idea of what's coming up this upcoming weekend, and then we'll jump into our interviews. So without further ado, guys, we have a couple of video packs in the midst of the games this past weekend. There were a lot of them, 6 games in total this past weekend, and we have video highlights from 3 of them. The Tillsonburg Thunder and Strathroy Jets game on Saturday, this past Saturday, was covered by 509 Sports Online, and we really appreciate their contribution. And Darren Stevenson, big shout out to him. He does a lot of work, and he's got a great team over there. So guys, get ready. And without further ado, here's the weekend that was in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. All right, first up, guys, our first result is this past Friday. It was the Strathroy Jets and the Plattsville Lakers. Plattsville making their Western Ontario Super Hockey League debut. Strathroy Jets handing them a loss 7-1 was the final in this one. Devin Rymarchuk and I believe the second goal of the game, the only goal for the Plattsville Lakers. So he scores the first in Plattsville Lakers Western Ontario Super Hockey League history. And then that was assisted by Mitch Randall and Kevin Hu. And that was the only goal that the Lakers would score for the Strathroy Jets. 7 different goal scorers. Dave Vergeer, Cameron Amos, Dane Johnstone, Mitch Brooks, Mike Mandarelli, and Brett Lashbrook, as well as Brandon Buck, all scoring for the Strathroy Jets in the 7-1 victory. Getting the winning goal for the Jets, Derek Malcolm. He stopped 24 of 25. And on the other side, Devin Clark gets hung with the loss in that one, stopping 39 of 46. It's the Alvinston Killer Bees home opener as they take their 0-1 record to the ice at the BIACC complex to battle the visiting 0-2 Delhi Flames. Early in the first, Delhi in on the rush. Nolan DeConing makes the nice save early on to keep the game scoreless. A few minutes later, scary moment here for Flames netminder Cody Odovashar. He gets bumped into by the Trip Killer Bees forward. He would be okay after some observation and would stay in the hockey game. Just past the halfway mark and some heavy hitting as displayed here. Jacob Miller of the Delhi Flames taking out Cameron Rombouts on the rush. Just under 7 minutes to play, Killer Bee tryout hopeful Robert McLean, number 91, headman in the puck to number 93, Carson Perry. He goes bar down to give Alvinston the 1-0 lead. A minute later, McLean is going to poke this puck ahead. Sweet move from number 44, Joe Capriccio. He slides it over to Tyler Winkfist, who has a tap-in. It's 2-0 Bees headed to the second period. Fast forward in the second, just under 5 minutes to play. After just killing off a Delhi power play, McLean strikes. Great solo effort. McLean's first of the night and third point. It's 3-zip Alvinston headed to the third. Third period now just under 5 minutes in. McLean's at it once again. He feeds the puck over to Perry, flying down the right-hand side. Another bar-down goal for him, his second of the night. For McLean, his fourth point of the evening. Alvinston's in front, 4-0. 8 minutes to play now. Delhi power play. It's controlled off of the face-off. Joshua Sleegers is going to put it back to number 18, Sean Michaud. His shot evades DeConing, and Delhi is on the board. It's 4-1. Less than a minute later, however, Alvinston restores their 4-goal lead. Puck will eventually find its way out to Sheldon Timmermans. He puts it across to number 17, Derek Shaw. He roofs it to make it a 5-1 game. 7 now to play in the third period. Delhi racing up the ice off the defensive zone faceoff. Kyle Viger is going to throw it across the crease on his backhand to number 11, Wade Metz. He's got his first goal of the year. That makes it 5-2. That's as close as Delhi would come, however, as Alvinston evens their record on the year to 1-1. Delhi falling to 0-3. 5-2 is your final from Alvinston. It's the 2-0 Tilbury Bluebirds welcoming in the visiting 1-0 Stratford Fighting Irish to the Tilbury Arena in Tilbury, Ontario. Pick this one up in the first period. Tilbury strikes first as we see the tail end of this Mitchell Van Teeling goal that opens the scoring. It's 1-0 Bluebirds. Still in the first period, Stratford on the power play looking to respond. Bluebird netminder Ryan Polidari equal to the task on this. He keeps his team up in front by 1. Another Irish power play. Puck is going to be intercepted, and the Bluebirds come the other way. An unbelievable solo effort from number 13, Vyacheslav Chigrintsev. He makes it 2-0 Tilbury. Minute and a half to go in the first period. Puck is going to come to Brock Grambois. He sends it down behind the net to Kyle Carter. He spots a wide open, untouched Grambois coming in down the slot. He makes no mistake behind Irish netminder Nathan Young. Bluebirds up 3-0 headed to the second. 40 seconds into the second period, Tilbury strikes again. This time it's number 18, David LeBlanc, converting the pretty Travis Winkworth setup. 4-0 is the score for the Bluebirds. Approaching the 5-minute mark in the second, the Irish finally get on the board. It's Brad Crisco centering to Braden Spezial. He puts it in behind Polidari. It's 4-1. 3 minutes later, Tilbury answers back. It's Keith Masonville with the blast from the point. Initial shot is stopped by Young. The rebound out to Zach Bedard. He makes no mistake firing it home, restoring the 4-goal lead, making it 5-1 Bluebirds. This would end the night for Irish goaltender Nathan Young. Zach Weir coming on in relief. Irish power play late in the second period. It's a pretty passing play that's finished off by Cameron Stokes, and it's 5-2 Bluebirds as we go to the third. Into the third period now, Tilbury finishes off the scoring in the game. It's Chigrintsev again as he blows by everyone, including the Tilbury cameraman, to score his second of the game that makes it 6-2 Bluebirds. They improve to 3-0 on the season, while the Stratford Fighting Irish fall to 1-1. 6-2 Tilbury is the final.
Let's head to Tillsonburg for our game of the week in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. The hometown Thunder shooting for a victory. They were hosting the Strathroy Jets on Saturday night, opening period. It's a long bomb for Mike Mandarelli. He's got a break for the Jets, and it's a big save from Matt Sagrott. He keeps it out, keeping the game scoreless. A few minutes later, it's a beauty rush from Chris Knotts. He skates in, and he's got the first goal of the night. Knotts puts it home. 1-0 Thunder. And they're looking for more. Jamie McQueen breaking in over to Curtis Cristo, and it's Mitch Green getting the goal. Nice setup from the Thunder. They're up 2-0 after the first. Second period now, it's a Tillsonburg power play. Justin Abraham rips it from the point. Josh Diamond with the stop, and he hangs on. Strathroy would kill off the penalty. The Jets now try to get going offensively. Mike Mandarelli taking the return feed. Matt Sagrott with the denial. He makes the stop. Still 2-0 as we move to the third. The centering pass for Stephen Hillier. Another good stop from Sagrott. He was outstanding between the pipes. Back the other way. How about this goal from Jake Brown? He's making moves and he puts it in. Brown extending the lead. He makes it 3-0 Tillsonburg. And here is the dagger. Braden Roberts flipping it down the ice into the empty net. He seals it for the Thunder. They win on home ice for the first time this season. Tillsonburg over the Jets. 4-0 is the final on Saturday night.
Our next game of the weekend was a tilt in Erin, the Erin Blitz with their home opener. They took on the visiting Elora Rocks in a rematch from weekend number 1. This time, Elora getting the better of Erin again by a score of 8-2. Elora improving to 3-0, while the Erin Blitz falling to 0-2. For the Elora Rocks, big game from Spencer Gourlay, 3 goals, 3 assists. Stephen Dole, 1 goal, 4 assists for him. As well, Yanni Skaropoulos scoring 2 and adding an assist as well. We had Brock Holzer, Elora native, scoring his first goal with the Elora Rocks, as well as Charlie Stevens adding a single goal for the Rocks. Adding assists were Spencer McCormick with 2, Zach Cameron with 2, Luke Holzer with 1, and big game from them. Getting the winning goal for the Elora Rocks, Colin Dunn. He stopped 16 of 18 for the victory. Over on the Erin Blitz side, we had Daniel Heelis and Hayden Ireland scoring goals for the Blitz. Ireland adding an assist, as well as Zach Collins with an assist for the Blitz in the loss. The goaltending duties were responsibility of Matthew McCabe. He stopped 14 of 22 in the loss for the Erin Blitz. Like I say, they fall in 0-2, and Elora jumps to 3-0. Our final game of the weekend took place this past Sunday. It was a matchup in Plattsville, the Plattsville Lakers home opener. They hosted the Tilbury Bluebirds, undefeated, and they remain that way. Tilbury putting up an impressive 60 shots, outshooting the Plattsville Lakers 60-27. Tilbury improving to 4-0, Plattsville to 0-2. Scoring for the Tilbury Bluebirds, we had Dylan Denomi. He had a goal. Mitchell Van Teeling with a goal. He also added an assist. Nick Chetriot had a goal, and Vyacheslav Chegrinstev, he had a goal and an assist. That's a tough one to pronounce. I apologize. Assists go to Cade McKibben and Frederick Korp, as well as Keith Masonville, Anthony Geldart, and as mentioned, Mitchell Van Teeling with an assist, as well as a goal that he scored. And in net for them, Ryan Polidari, he stopped 26 of 27. He is now a perfect 4-0 on the year. Starting in goal for the Plattsville Lakers, Lane Timmons. He was responsible for all 3 goals that he allowed, the final one being an empty netter. 57 of 60 for Lane Timmons, and a beautiful effort by him, but unfortunately could not get the scoring help in front of him to get the victory there. All right. So yeah, guys, that's your weekend recap as we proceed right here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 5. This podcast, as always, is sponsored by Sleeman Breweries, and we appreciate their involvement with that. So without further ado, guys, let's take a look at your standings update here. Tilbury moves into the top spot at 4-0. They played one more game than the Elora Rocks. Tilbury off to an impressive start here. They've won 4 out of the gate, and they sit with 8 points, 2 ahead of Elora, who've only played 3. They are 3-0. The Tillsonburg Thunder 2-1 on the year now, as they picked up a victory on the weekend there, a 4-0 victory over the Strathroy Jets. They now sit in third at 2-1 with 4 points. Stratford Fighting Irish, they drop a tough one in Tilbury. They are 1-1 now on the year. They are tied alongside Strathroy, who is 1-2, and the Alvinston Killer Bees 1-1, getting a big victory over the Delhi Flames for their first victory of the year. Plattsville is in 7th. Erin is in 8th. They are tied, I guess, for 7th with records of 0-2, and then Delhi moves is in the 9th spot at 0-3, looking to turn things around as we head into this upcoming weekend. We'll get to that in a second, but first, your leading scorers update here. Spencer Gourlay, big weekend for him. Big game against the Erin Blitz, and he takes over the top spot in leading scorers with 4 goals and 6 assists for 10 points, 2 better than both Mitch Green of the Tillsonburg Thunder and Vyacheslav Chegrinstev of the Tilbury Bluebirds. He has 4-4, both of them 4-4. Brendan Woods is our number 4 guy. He is 0-7. He has no goals, 7 assists, though, for 7 points. He's tied alongside Brody Smith of the Stratford Fighting Irish and Steve Dole with 2 and 5 for 7 from the Elora Rocks. And then in the bottom there, we have a big tie for a lot of people tied at 6. That includes Chad Heron, Dylan Denomi, Jamie McQueen, and Zach Cameron as we round out the top 10. And yeah, guys, speaking of which, we have a big upcoming weekend. Again, there's a lot of games on slate. With 9 teams now in the league, there are a lot of games that take place over the course of the weekend. I was really racking my brain, to say the least, when it came to this past weekend, as there were 4 games going on at once on Saturday night. couldn't decide which one. It wasn't like channel surfing or multi-screening. No, that wasn't an option. So, but no, a lot of good hockey this past weekend, all available on Sportify as well. So really cool, guys, that the Western Ontario Super Hockey League allows for live streaming. So there's that's a really cool benefit to this league, and some good coverage for sure. Good hockey as well so far throughout the first few weekends here. As we move on, we have another upcoming weekend. Let's get you started here. 2 games on Friday, October the 21st. It's the Tilbury Bluebirds into Strathroy to take on the Strathroy Jets. That one gets underway at 7:30. You have the Delhi Flames. They visit the Elora Rocks. That one goes at 8:30 in Elora. It's on Friday, October 21st as well. 4-game slate on Saturday. A couple of real good matchups here. You got a matchup of 3 versus 4 in the Tillsonburg Thunder traveling to Stratford to take on the Fighting Irish. That one goes at 4:30 on Saturday. That one's followed up by the Strathroy Jets traveling to Alvinston to take on the Alvinston Killer Bees. That one goes to the BAICC complex at 6:30. You have the Aaron Blitz in Tilbury to face the Bluebirds. That one goes at 7:30 on Saturday as well. And then the final game of the 4-game slate is the Plattsville Lakers into Delhi to take on the Delhi Flames. That is the Delhi Flames home opener, 8 o'clock on Saturday as well. But yeah, guys, so that gives you kind of an update of where we're at. But again, the meat of these podcasts, guys, is our interviews with our tremendous players and talent and people within the organization of this league and in its entirety. But yeah, a couple of really great guests here. We'll lead it off with Matt Sagrott of the Tillsonburg Thunder, and it'll be followed up by Spencer Gourlay of the Elora Rocks. Guys, enjoy these interviews on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 5. Okay. All right, here, folks. We're back on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 5. I am your host, Andrew Rogers. I am pleased to be joined with the top star in the WOSHL this past week from the Tillsonburg Thunder by way of Hamilton, Ontario, Matt Sagrott, the Tillsonburg Thunder goaltender. Matt, it's great to have you on the podcast, pal. Welcome, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Matt, yeah, like, talk a little bit off air, and we get onto this podcast, and there's obviously a lot of things to cover. But first of all, congratulations on the first star. Congratulations on the shutout, a big 4-0 win for you guys, the Tillsonburg Thunder, on this past Saturday against the Strathroy Jets. Take me through, I guess, the first little bit here of the season. I know we're only 3 games in, but you had a tough contest against Tilbury, a very good team now who's 4-0, and you guys come out on the losing end, but you rebound in a big way, 4-0 shutout win over Strathroy. What's the season been like so far for you?
Yeah, it's been fun. I wasn't really sure what the season was going to bring, but I had fun last year, so it was an easy decision for me. We came out first game and Razor got peppered in his first game, so I was a little nervous of what to expect the next couple of games. But yeah, so we had Tilbury. They got a pretty good squad there. They're the real deal. We got peppered with shots, and we gave up a late goal, and the way I played, I thought like I could have made that. Well, not to discredit Denomi on that. That's a really good shot, but just the way I played.
The one on the breakaway, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just thought, I was playing well enough that I could have made that save. And as a goalie, I like to think that I come through with clutch saves when it matters the most. That wasn't a save. So that kind of stuck with me, and I brought that to the next game and, got the result that I wanted.
Yeah, big bounce back, 36 save effort in against Strathroy. A team, again, like you say, they peppered Jesse Raymond with shots in the first opening game that you guys had, an 8-7 victory. Barletta scores with like less than 30 seconds left to win the game there, and a high scoring affair. And then 4-0. Like, I mean, yeah. What did you find? Like, were you able to see shots clearly? Was that the difference? Like, what did you take from one game to the other?
Yeah, no. They definitely had their chances, but I think as a defensive team, we on the defensive side of our team, we cleared a lot of the second chance opportunities. So I was making the first save, and they really didn't get a lot of second chances. Made it pretty easy for me. Like I said, they got their chances, and I was stopping the first ones, but they cleared all the second ones.
And like this league, as a goaltender, you have a front row view to the type of talent that's out there. Like, what have you noticed in the kind of small sample that you've had of the talent in this league. Is that impressive? Like, are you is there a nervous factor there? Like, what is your take on that?
Well, there's so far in the 2 games that I played, you could just tell that the depth in the players here. You know, expanding this league from 5 to 9 teams is quite the expansion, but I don't think that it lost parity at all. So you can definitely see there's people that want to come and play in this league, and it's getting pretty competitive.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I find it so interesting when teams come in, like you said. I mean, it really does wrinkle or add a wrinkle to that competitive balance aspect. In terms of the whole Tillsonburg connection for you, how did that all come about? Like, how did that kind of land with you on Tillsonburg? Like, take us through that for you.
So, kind of funny actually. I played a bit of a season in Milverton in the WOAA.
Okay.
And I actually played one of the best games of my life in Tillsonburg. There we lost 4-3 in a shootout and I had 66 shots. Like, it was, it was one of the best games of my life. So I just remember being in that rink, and it was just like, it seemed like a cool place to play. And then I played my years in Stony Creek in Senior A, and kind of hiatus after that. And I know Zach McQuaid really well. We play a lot of men's league together.
Okay.
And, and he kept saying, like, you got to come play with us. You got to come play with us. And it's a bit of a hike from Hamilton to Tillsonburg. So I was on the fence a little bit. And then I finally said, you know what, let's do it. Let's give this a shot. And, I've had a blast ever since.
And did you have much other familiarity with this league besides McQuaid?
A couple guys that had played the year before, like I know Jeff Least, Anthony Geldart and King Geldart played in Thorold with me. Just a couple guys that are from the area that I knew a little bit. Not a ton though.
Okay. And it's something like that. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, having a guy that's trying to recruit you, that's got to feel kind of good. I think familiarity though with some of the guys, even a teammate or non-teammate, is interesting in this league. I think there's a lot of guys that could speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even just, I played against Scott Stafford growing up in junior hockey.
Oh, what a beauty Scott is.
Oh God, yeah. So I have like a connection with him just through playing against him, and I always knew he was a great guy. And we have a connection with with all the Thorold boys down there. I'm pretty connected with them, and they know him pretty well. So there's a little bit of a connection there as well. And it's just knowing who he was easy to embrace.
Sure. Absolutely. And like I say, I think that can really make it a lot easier when transitioning to any new team and trying to get accustomed and that sort of thing. If you have people that you know and people that you can talk to, I think that's a huge bonus.
Absolutely.
Now, and again, for you talking about goaltending and being in the front row seat of the action in front of you, one guy that's really impressed me for you guys is Mitch Green, number 14. He's off to a really hot start. He's got 8 points throughout in the season so far. What's impressed you about watching him play?
He's just got a calm demeanor, and he just knows where to be. He kind of could get overlooked a little bit at size, but when you really pay attention to him, he does a lot of the things right. And he's pretty versatile. Like, we got him on defense occasionally, got him on forward. Like, no matter where you need him, he'll play the position, and he does a great job at it. And it's been rewarded for him so far.
Yeah, great shot, great finish, and like you say, great guy, and obviously, putting up great numbers so far. It's nice to see, and hopefully he continues that. Again, speaking as a goalie, your first line of defense besides you is your defenders, and Barletta is by far one of the best defenders that you guys have, and that's obviously got to feel good for you in the nets, knowing that he's out there on that first line of defense, if you will, besides yourself. That is.
Yeah, absolutely. You just when the puck's on his stick, he's pretty safe with it. Very, very limited on turnovers. He's going to clear the puck on rebounds. Just makes the smart plays. If we're trapped, he'll cross the red line, get it in deep, and he's got the offensive talent to bring the puck in and score a goal with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, he does have an offensive flair for sure, but yeah, just a great overall player, and a guy that's definitely good to have on your team. The last guy I want to ask you about is your battery mate, so to speak, and that's your tender teammate is Jesse Raymond. He's such a beauty. I know Jesse had a tough time last year with his knee injury, and he's rebounded nicely from that. It's great to see him back in the nets. Like, what does it mean for you to be a tandem, that kind of goalie tandem with Jesse? Like, how cool has that been for you?
Oh, it's been awesome, and even him, he's welcomed me with open arms in this team, and any advice that I needed on any particular players in the league or anything like that, he's there to help out. And even when I got the shutout last on Saturday, first person in the group chat saying, "Hey, congrats! Like, you're awesome, yada yada." So it's been really cool. I'm excited to have be part of this tandem, because I think we probably have one of the better tandems in the league, if not. I don't want to say it, but
yeah, it's pretty darn good so far.
Pretty good so far. And, I think that was the goal coming in last season, as well as a late addition. Jesse was hurt, so a little insurance was bringing me in, and then COVID kind of took that month and a half, 2-month break. So
yeah,
it was good for him to recover, and he led the way in making the team to the finals. So it's been a great to have him as a goalie partner so far.
And let's talk about that finals a little bit, because what a finals it was. Like, you guys really did push the top team, Elora Rocks, to the brink there. You'd like a goal either way, and it's a whole nother series in your favor, I think. Like, take me through that from your vantage point. Like, what was the takeaway? And I guess it has to serve as some sort of motivation to want to get back and take the crown.
Yeah, absolutely. This group's motivated. The loss didn't sit well with us. That's for sure. Like you said, it was so close. It was a couple overtimes. If they go our way, we're up 4-2. Just how close it was. Now at the other end, Dunn is a good buddy of mine. Great. He had a great series there. So both goalies played phenomenal in that series. So we're definitely determined to try and make a push to redeem ourselves in the finals.
Well, and that's the other part, is that the playoffs are obviously expanded this time around too. There's an extra round because we have 8 playoffs teams this time around, and it's going to be a little bit more of a grind to get to that finals than it was last year. No question about that. So this upcoming Saturday, you guys play 4:30 at the William Allman Memorial Arena against the Stratford Fighting Irish. What are you expecting in this tilt? It's a matchup of 2 great teams that are off to nice starts and are looking to compete come February, March.
Yeah, so Stratford's one of the only teams that I actually haven't seen, so I'm not too familiar with their look. But I mean, looking at the numbers last year, they were competitive, and they battled for us with for 4th spot there. So it's going to be a good matchup for sure, and I'm excited to see what they have to offer. Like I said, so far these 3 games, there's been no shortage of depth in the organization. So I'm expecting it to be a good game.
Yeah, it should be a beauty. Tillsonburg Thunder, Stratford Fighting Irish, William Allman Memorial Arena, 4:30 this upcoming Saturday, and it's going to be a good one there. Matt, last question I have for you. You're probably this game is kind of catered more or less to the younger guys. I mean, I'm 35. I'm not classifying you as an old guy. I'm just saying, being 30 in a young man's game can take its toll, no question. But what is it to you that keeps you coming back for more at this stage in your hockey career?
Yeah, it's funny. I never thought I would be one of the veteran guys on a team.
The OGs,
one of the older guys, right?
Yeah.
I remember coming into the Stony Creek Generals there, and I was 24, and everyone had finished playing pro. We had a pretty good squad there, and it was a little intimidating for me because their backgrounds are pretty good. So
right.
Here we are a few years later, and I'm a veteran on the team. So it's just it's I'm drawing a blank here. No, it's just I think we can provide some insight on the younger guys. There's a couple of young guys on the team that maybe not used to this style of game, so we can provide some feedback on how to help them out and how to transition into a different style of game. And I think we're all just here to win.
Well, and when you have, and you're off to a great start on a personal level, and the team is doing well, 2-1 to start the year. You're 1-1, and with that 36 save shutout, that was very impressive. So congratulations again on that. We've been talking with Tillsonburg netminder Matt Sagrott. Matt, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on and doing this. Best of luck throughout the course of the year. We'll see you on Saturday in Stratford, and best of luck rest of the way. We'll catch up throughout the course of the year. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, back here, Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 5. Andrew Rogers, your host. Pleased to be joined at this time. He is the captain of the Elora Rocks, Spencer Gourlay. He joins me now. It's great to have you on the podcast, dude, and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, excited to get it going.
Yeah, it's so funny, Spencer. I got to admit, off the hop, buddy, every time I say your name, I always think of Robert Gourlay. Like, you know, that old Will Ferrell sketch, right? Robert Gourlay. I always think that's how you should pronounce it. It's so funny.
Not bad comparison. I'll take it.
Yeah, I know. I thought you'd enjoy that, so I thought I had to get that out of the way first. But yeah, you guys in Elora off to a hot start again this year, continuing where you left off last year. A big win for you guys this past Saturday against the Aaron Blitz, an 8-2 victory. A big night for you. 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. All credited or not, depending on who you talk to, but the way the record shows right now is you got 6 points, and you're leading the WOSHL in scoring with 10 points. First of all, congratulations on that, on your hot start, and what can you attribute to it, I guess?
Probably a lot of my line mates. They're giving me a couple empty nets here and there, so that's always nice. And I think a lot of it has to go with our team chemistry. We got 4 lines and just roll deep, roll hard, and we all have a good bond together. We all find each other on the ice, and it's a good feeling right now. It's a good fit in Elora.
Yeah, like you mean it's so impressive watching you guys play, and I mean, it seems like, yeah, no matter the opponent, you guys are just always rolling. You suggest team chemistry. That's a big deal for you. It's your 6th year with Elora, and now going on 4th as team captain. What is familiarity, and like how is it when it applies to Elora, and how does it define your team's success? It's obviously a big part of it.
Well, familiarity, like I said, we know our barn pretty well. We've all played on. Most of us have played on the team for a few years now. We got some new guys last year, and they just meshed real well. A bunch of glue guys, and I think a lot of our success has to do with how close our team is. A lot of guys have been, like I said, been there for a while, and all the new guys came in last year and previously before COVID. Everybody has just meshed well, really bonded well with the city. We got a good group of solid guys in Elora who can all play hockey and like to have fun after. So it's a good fit.
And I think a big part of a team's success too could also be support. Like you said, community is everything in this league, especially because it's very community driven. But you guys get one of the best crowds that I've ever seen in a hockey game. They're so electric. Does that make a huge difference for you on the ice?
Oh, it makes a massive difference. Even in senior A hockey, you can still get fired up when the crowd is fired up. So no complaints there. I love the city of Elora. It's a great small knit community. You can walk down the street and everybody knows everybody. And it's just very, very sports oriented, small knit community up there in just north of Guelph. So I've really grown to love the city of Elora, or town of Elora. And I can't thank the fans enough. They've been great. When they should come out, they show their support in full force, and they get loud up there.
But like I say, drawing great crowds and great numbers. It's just great to see in the WOSHL League and for the town of Elora. So like I say, going on 4 years as team captain, can you take me back to when you assumed the captaincy role with Elora and what that meant to you and what it still means to you going into this 4th year with Elora as team captain?
Well, it all starts back to when I first joined Elora Rocks. We were kind of the laughing stock of the WOA a little bit, getting 5-6 guys out to practice, 10 guys out to games. I still remember that time up in Sagrott. We had 10 guys up to one of their fancy nights with ceremony and everything. We had 10 guys show up and in front of 1,500 fans and put on a good game. So all from those days, it just meant a lot because like I said, when I first got there, I fell in love with the town of Elora. The guys on the team were just outstanding, 100% grade A citizens, and I just had a lot of fun there. So for me to be the captain of such a good community with such great people in the community is it's a huge deal. Like I said, I've been there a few years now, and to continue to be the captain there just means a lot to me. Even though it's senior A, it's still pretty special because like Elora's got 100 years of history for the Rocks, and to be a leader of that history now, it's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, again, from having met you, from having spoken with you, watched you play, there's nobody else that more deserving than that. So kudos on that, pal, just from a personal standpoint, one guy to another. So yeah, like I said, you guys are off to a hot start, 3-0, playing very, very well. Let's go back to last year and how special that year was. So there's a lot of accolades that came with it. First year, inaugural WOSHL champs. I mean, no one's can ever be able to take that away from you guys. And it was just a special year all around for you. The great record, the great postseason, and then obviously ultimately a great championship final against a very tough team in Tillsonburg.
Yeah, it was kind of a new experience playing in a 5-team league. Didn't know how it would go, but everything went smoothly. I think the organizers of the league who organized everything did a great job. That finals against Tillsonburg was quite the series. Even for a bunch of old guys, we still put our hearts on the line, and it was a lot of fun, especially to lift it in the Elora colors. Was a big deal. It was just like I said, the guys who've been here for a while remember the dark days. It was a whole lot sweeter, and for the guys who just joined the team last year, it was pretty sweet because everybody contributed. We had guys up and down the lineup, Jacko Mateo on the back end, Picks and us up front, all contributed all the way down for top 6 defensemen for all the way to top 12 forwards. You could find scoring and heart and on every line. And then we had our great goalie Colin Dunn that steal the show a couple times. So that all contributed to our success. It was just a good team win.
Yeah, absolutely. Like again, just from one to another, congrats on last year's championship and obviously the hot start. As a player, you get a front row view to a lot of good, solid players on your team, and there's a plethora of them. On the back end, let's start with Spencer McCormick. He's one of those players that's just so impressive from my perspective. How impressive is it for you to watch him play and to have him out there on the ice alongside you as a teammate?
Oh, I wish I could play with that defenseman every shift I get. It's great. He always finds the guys in the right spot at the right time. His vision on the ice is great. He's solid on the back end. It's hard to get around him, and it's hard to go through him. He's just an all-around defenseman. He's got a good shot, great skater, and like I said, he just makes the play easier for everybody. So as being a forward, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, no doubt. It's always nice to have a rock back there that could be so dependent on. And speaking of that, obviously Colin Dunn, he had an unbelievable year last year. He's an unbelievable guy off the ice to anybody who knows him as well, which is kind of a killer combination if you ask me. But again, how crucial is it knowing you got a guy that's your last line of defense in between those posts in net like Colin is?
Oh, it makes all the world of difference to see a 2-on-1 going down your way and have the confidence in your goalie that he's going to stop him 9.9 times out of 10. That makes a world of difference as a forward and as any player in front of him. So it just gives you more confidence and ability to be creative out there. If you have a goalie who you trust like that, it gives you more freedom in the front half of the ice. And like you said, he's just a great guy on and off the ice, amazing goalie, and great pair of tattoos on him. So
yeah, no doubt. But he's just, like you say, he's just such a great guy, and obviously a hell of a talent in the nets for Elora. And then you spoke a little bit earlier about your game on the weekend, and obviously your teammates that have had a lot of success putting up the points that you've had through 3 games. Speak to them and how nice it is knowing that you're playing alongside these guys and the chemistry that you've built early on this year.
It's great. I think we've assembled a real good bunch of beauties on our team. We all have everybody's played with somebody else, whether it's been an Elora or previous to coming to senior hockey. Everybody has kind of played with everybody else, so there's that feeling of familiarity up and down our lineup on forward and defense. So that goes a long way. Yeah, like everybody can play hockey. Everybody is good at it, and so wherever anybody goes on the lineup, whoever you're playing with on any given night, you have that comfortability, that familiarity, that confidence to you're going to get the job done. So that's massive to have trust in your teammates like that.
Well, and like I said, it's worked out so well, pretty well for you guys so far. Now, again, I was speaking to Mitch before I got you to come on to this interview, and he told me something to make sure that I pointed out to you and asked you about. And to anyone watching this who wants to play hockey at this level, there's obviously got to be some sort of training involved. And he says that you're pretty vigorous in your off-season training, and he wanted me to ask you about it because, like I say, he was really impressed with how hard you worked in the offseason to get to where you are today. And I just wondered if maybe you could share some of what that routine looks like.
Well, the guys who know me last year, I didn't have a very good season last year. I was dealing with some internal things, so I wanted to, just change that up. That was part of why I changed my physical fitness and everything. I think that helped the most with mental health, just getting out there running. So that's why I trained, really. I've never been much into training for hockey, but that's really why I trained, and it's paid off pretty good so far. I just run in the morning, early in the morning, about 10-15K before the sun comes up, put a workout in after, go to work, put another workout in after work, and eat good, and that's about it. A lot of running, a lot of weights.
Well, I got to admit, from a personal standpoint, that all sounds exhausting. But that's just because I'm not into all that as much as you are. But like I say, obviously, the hard work that you're doing is paying off. So well done with that, and keep up the good work. It's obviously working out pretty well for you, and I could appreciate that. Let's take us back here, because you've been playing hockey for a long time here, and you've obviously achieved some level of success in your junior hockey days. Does anything really stick out to you more than not? Like, was there special moments that stick out above the rest for you in your junior hockey upbringing?
Well, yeah, I think the biggest one would be winning the Sutherland Cup back in 2013-14 with the Caledonia Corvairs. That was a pretty special moment. We were the number one team throughout the year, dominated a lot, and then we got to the finals against our rival St. Catharines to win it in 7 games on home ice in front of 3,000-4,000 fans at the HCCC up there in Caledonia. That was a pretty cool feeling. That's definitely one that will stick with me throughout my hockey and my life.
And just hearing you speak about it, obviously, again, this league is actually, I think you can admit that they're trying to promote a young man's game. But 29 is not old by any stretch. I'm 35. I know what old's like, but I'm just saying 29 in this league with a lot of younger guys can be kind of challenging. Again, like what's the biggest takeaway for you that you've noticed about trying to keep up with these young guys?
Oh, I think all that running at 2 a.m. is helping a lot.
Yeah.
Brain isn't definitely as sharp as theirs anymore, but I think a lot of it, like I said earlier, and throughout this podcast, is team chemistry. The way we move the puck, the way we flow as a 5-man unit, it just makes everybody's job on the ice so much better, so much easier, and you can think the play quicker, you can get to the right positions quicker. So that chemistry, I think, makes the world of difference.
And yeah, it's to kind of make this a 2-part question. The original question was going to be like, what is it about this game that keeps you coming back and keeps you doing it at this age and keeps you wanting to achieve such a high level of compete at the end of the day?
Well, if you ask anybody who knew me growing up playing hockey before junior, I never really wanted to go too high with it, go to the NHL. But I just genuinely love to play the game of hockey competitively. I'm not ready for beer league yet. And like I said, I just genuinely love to play the game of hockey. I'm going to play until my body says no.
I love that answer, man. That is a phenomenal answer. It really is. And like I said, I don't think beer really gets ready for you yet if you're putting up this kind of numbers already this year, buddy, because you're making some serious strides and you're playing really, really well. This upcoming Friday, you guys host the Delhi Flames. That goes at 8:30 Elora and District Community Center. What are your expectations for the rest of the year, if any, at this point?
Well, I think, with our level of success, you just got to have an expectation every given night. You got to walk in there thinking you're going to win the game. Now, will we go undefeated all season? Probably not. But that's the level I think everyone on our team holds ourselves accountable to. We should win any given night that we want to. And see a new team in Delhi on Friday. Well, we're gonna same thing. We're gonna go in there think we're gonna win the game and just have some fun.
I like that, man. I like the attitude. That's awesome. We've been speaking with the captain of the Elora Rocks, Spencer Gourlay. He's been here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. He's the captain of the Elora Rocks. And Spencer, it's been an absolute pleasure having you come on and speaking with you. And best of luck the rest of the year. And I'm sure we'll catch up again throughout the year. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, man. We got a cold beer in Elora when you get by.
All right, back here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Quick to recap here, I want to thank Sleeman Breweries for hosting or for sponsoring the podcast. Really appreciated to them. Want to thank Spencer Gourlay of the Elora Rocks and Matt Sagrott of the Tillsonburg Thunder. Guys, if you ever want to be on the podcast, reach out to me, please. My name is Andrew Rogers. I'm the host. Reach out to me any which way you can, or talk to your leaders, general managers, or coaches on your teams, and they'll reach out to me, and then we'll get set up with that. Love to have you guys on the podcast. To feature you guys in this wonderful league. But yeah, just to give you a quick recap of what's upcoming, you got 2 games on Friday, October 21st. It's the Tilbury Bluebirds in Strathroy to face the Jets. At 8:30, you have the Delhi Flames and the Elora Rocks. That one goes 8:30 in Elora. On Saturday, 4-game slate, Tillsonburg Thunder in Stratford to take on the Fighting Irish. That goes at 4:30. It's the Alvinston Killer Bees hosting the Strathroy Jets. That goes at 6:30. The Aaron Blitz traveled to Tilbury to face the Bluebirds. 7:30 start there. And then our final game of the weekend, Placerville Lakers and the Delhi Flames, 8 o'clock in Delhi. I am Andrew Rogers, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Thank you very much for watching yet another episode, and we'll be right back here next week to do it all again with you. Thank you very much for watching, and take care. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you guys again next week. Take care. Bye.